Dingoos, what is going on? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to go over my top 10 long-term DeFi holds, right? These are holds. These are the DeFi protocols that are on the cutting edge of innovation in finance on the blockchain, right? So these top 10 DeFi protocols are what I'm holding long-term. I'm accumulating, I'm earning yield on, right? And I'm just going to hodl these, right? DeFi has yet to hit that exponential growth. Institutions really need to jump on the train for DeFi to take off, or just DeFi will take over the whole financial sector. Whatever happens first. I mean, if institutions don't jump on the DeFi train quick enough, DeFi is just going to eat them for lunch. And I think that's going to happen. DeFi is just going to eat the traditional financial system for lunch, right? Because a lot of these financial, we'll jump into it more. We'll jump into it more. Shoot a sub, like the video, and let's get this party started with Rory Capital. Honestly, I love Rory Capital. They are a yield aggregator, but I really want to talk about Fuse and how innovative it is and how revolutionary it is and how it is not even possible outside of blockchain. If they try to do this in traditional finance, it's impossible. Get out of here. You can't do this in traditional finance. And what is Fuse? Basically, Fuse it gives you the ability to create your own money market. What's a money market? It's basically a borrow and lending market, and you can create your own money market and with any digital assets you want, right? So for example, Tetranode's locker, 642 million supplied, 132 borrowed. You click on it, you'll see a bunch of digital assets, right? And basically you can create your own money market with any digital assets you want, mostly ERC20 tokens, right? They have to be on the Ethereum blockchain. This includes NFTs eventually. This includes, say, mortgages. This includes once mortgages gets tokenized. Once, let's say, all notes get tokenized. Say all derivatives. You can have a lending borrowing market for derivatives. You can have a lending borrowing market for social tokens. I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is impossible to do in the real world market. And say you create a new pool, right? You can literally add any assets you want. And if it gains traction, imagine you create a pool, right? You can go here and create a pool today. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that go in it, obviously. But what if you build a successful money market? Say your money market has 50 to 100 million under management. You are the owner and of that money market, and you can maybe put new assets and take new assets from that money market as you please, or as the community votes on that. So how much is a money market worth? If say you have $100 million in your money market might be valued at $400-500 million, and I believe you can buy and sell them, right? You can buy and sell money market since you're the owner of the money market. Pretty nuts. Maybe something worth checking out. But enough of Rory Capital. Let's go to number 2. This is an oldie but a goodie. Oldie as in terms of 2 years old. It's Curve. I love their UI. It's a little shady if you just get into it and you see some UI user interface like this, but it literally is the biggest and most established DeFi project out there. It has the most under management. It's the largest DeFi protocol by total value locked, right? It has 21.12 billion total value locked. It's on all chains. It's a low slippage DEX, decentralized exchange, so you can exchange tokens with very little slippage, and it saves you a lot of money. It's great. I use it all the time. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Curve, great governance token structure as well. Great APYs almost across any network, earning 40, 50, 60% across all networks. I mean, it's beautiful. I love Curve, holding it long term. Curve is my baby. I will be holding it probably for the next 5 years, earning 50% APY on my assets. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Holding appreciating assets and earning 50 to 60 to 100% APY on it. Can't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Next is Convex. Convex, I don't actually know exactly how the mechanisms work on the back end because I haven't messed around with it much. But Convex has a lot under management. total revenue, right? The total, let's see what the timeline is. So the total revenue generated by this protocol is $494 million. And I probably think this is controlled by the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And if you own Convex, you are basically own a portion and have the right to vote on the allocation of this revenue, right? So $494 million in total revenue generated by this financial protocol. Huge. And this is how DeFi is going to change the world. DeFi has not even seen the true adoption that it's worthy of. DeFi is the most undervalued thing in crypto, and that's why I harp on it so much, guys. It's huge. It's huge. People just don't understand finance in general, and lucky for you, you're watching this right now. So let's get after it. Let's get after it. Next, after Convex, let's move on from Convex. I know I didn't do it extremely well, a good job explaining it. Convex is great. Go watch another tutorial on it, or maybe I'll make a tutorial in the future explaining it more in depth. Next is Pool Together. Pool Together will most certainly get a lot of the retail market once they have an application and interface, and the retail market can easily interact with it. So what is Pool Together? Pool Together is basically a no-loss lottery, right? So in traditional sense, the lottery is, hey, you go buy a lotto ticket, but when you buy a lotto ticket, you put $10 in, you lose that $10, right? You're taking a gamble. But with Pool Together, there literally is no gamble. You put, say, $1,000 in, right? And it earns interest in this pool. You put $1,000 in a swimming pool, right? You throw $1,000 into a swimming pool, and a bunch of other people throw $1,000 in as well, or just as different variations of money, right? Somebody threw $100,000 in, somebody threw $50,000 into the swimming pool, and over a week, this swimming pool filled with money earns interest, right? So there's time value on this money, okay? And at the end of the week, the interest earned on that pool, that swimming pool filled with money, gets distributed to one random winner that deposited money into this pool, right? So it's a no-loss lottery. The only thing you lose is time value on your assets. But guess what? If you average out over time, there's an APY associated with this as well, kind of deal. So, for example, in 2 hours, somebody will win, or some people, this is distributed among many winners. I think there's one main winner and then a majority of other winners underneath them, like second prize, third prize, fourth prize, etc., etc. But in 2 hours, $104,000 will be distributed to winners in that deposited money in this pool. This can be expounded upon by doing like no-loss lotto tickets. You can do no-loss like lottery tickets or scratch-offs in some fashion. You can do no-loss sports gambling as long as people put money in a pool early enough. So there's a lot of vectors of to grow this protocol specifically for the retail market. So this is great. Pool Together will be great. I have big hopes for it. Probably will be on Coinbase one of these days. But let's bring up my newsletter real quick because I got to bring it up every video. But I am extremely proud of this recent issue. Spent a lot of time, and first of all, our podcast is looking a lot better. Extremely proud. Podcast was a big issue, but every week we are improving this sucker. Looks great. I mean, it's $5 a week. Best way to support me. Link is in the description. Go click on it. I appreciate you greatly. I mean, we spend a lot of time writing this sucker. A lot of effort goes into this, and I really do try to add more than $5 worth of value every single week. And everybody that subscribed so far has liked it. It's getting better every week. But that's it for the newsletter. Let's move on to the next DeFi protocol. The next one is Dydx, one of the biggest decentralized exchanges. Does more volume than Coinbase. Dydx governance token is basically Dydx is valued less than Coinbase, but does more volume than Coinbase. But you can buy Dydx token, which basically is a share, unregistered security, whatever. But things will change. Things will have to change. Dydx is basically the stock of Dydx exchange. So we'll see what happens. They are generating an insane amount of revenue. It's just a leverage exchange, guys. It's huge though. And next is GMX. Kind of does the same thing, but you can earn about 26% APY on GMX token. GMX is trading around $31 currently. It does a lot of volume. let's see if we can find the volume over here. Let's see what about says. But GMX is doing a crazy amount of volume. Dashboard. All right, so long positions. Fees since November 3rd. Almost $1 million in revenue generated by this protocol, guys. Holy smokes. And this is the revenue distributed to the stakers. So this $1 million in the last week that this protocol generated, you can be a part and get some of this by just staking your GMX, right? This is not just money falling out of the sky. These are fees generated by providing a service distributed to stakers, right? So it's literally just a business, right? If you stake some GMX, you are going to be distributed some of the fees generated by this protocol providing a financial service, right? Boom, boom, boom. Love GMX, making a lot of money. This is what I look for. Fees generated by a financial service. That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at these DeFi protocols. Next is Alpha Finance. It's a leverage yield vault, and it's huge. I love the team. They are always building, always doing great stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, great APYs all over. Alpha Finance is great. Sitting around $1 right now. I'm definitely holding my alpha long term, and I have a couple more after this. Is Tokemak. Tokemak is a new DeFi 2.0 kind of project. It eliminates impermanent loss due to levers. These levers and variables get complicated, so I won't get into it, but definitely look into it. You can earn pretty good APYs on your Tokemak as well, and they are generating a lot of revenue as well. So Tokemak is everything. All the good green flags that I look for, Tokemak has. So definitely look into Tokemak. I have a couple more after this. Is Popsicle Finance. It's a multi-chain yield aggregator created by Daniel. Daniel created Wonderland, also spell and abracadabra money. Holy smokes. Look into this sucker if you haven't and check it out. And maybe just add it to your long-term DeFi portfolio, guys. This is what the whole video is about. This is pretty much my long-term DeFi portfolio, more or less. DeFi is always innovating. Love it. The top tier teams in DeFi are beautiful. I'm so obsessed with DeFi. It's going to liberate a lot of people from financial tyranny, including you and I. I mean, it's just beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. Next is Olympus DOW along with Climate DAO. Two pretty much the same projects. Olympus DOW is going to change the world as we know it. Selling bonds through the treasury, generating revenues through a bond system, kind of like the US government when we were on the gold standard, right? When we were on the gold standard, the US Treasury sold bonds, generating revenue, and that's basically their cash flows. But now things have changed. Olympus DAO is trying to bring that back, and they have been super successful so far and have been generating a tremendous amount of revenue that's been distributed to stakers. I mean, I'm pretty sure, okay, 8,000%, guys. They've been giving 8,000% pretty consistently over the last 6 months. 3.4 billion total value deposited, guys. It's nuts what they are doing. Who knows how long this APY will last? It's scam, blah 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 blah. It's not a scam, guys. It's kind of a financial test. All these are new financial innovation. They're tests. They're just, hey, let's see what happens. Let's do something. Let's see what happens. See if it's successful. We got an idea. Let's implement it. Let's see what happens. That's what Olympus DAO did. It's been successful so far. Have been giving 8,000% for over 6 months to participants that stake their own in this pool, right? Great. Climate DAO is relatively newer, and I believe they are about 34,000%, right? 34,000%. And Climate DAO is slightly different. Is not a direct fork. It is a direct fork, but it does a little different, right? Asymmetric upside with both Olympus DAO and Climate. Always look for asymmetric upside via potential versus risk. Potential versus risk, always and forever. So those are the top 10 or 11 or 12 different DeFi protocols in my long-term portfolio. Comment below what's in your long-term DeFi portfolio. And that is all for today. Follow me on YouTube, shoot a sub, I appreciate you. Discord if you got questions, along with Twitter. All the links are in this description. Newsletter is in the description. I appreciate you. I love DeFi. I love you. And dingle dingle. Peace out.